Welcome back to the Game of Muscle YouTube channel. We continue our journey into the Need for Speed Tournament Class A modification for Assetto Corsa by A3DR. This time we're going to be jumping into the Lamborghini Diablo VT. Of course, a link to this vehicle and the Ferrari 512 TR is in the video description. Make sure you download it. Absolutely fantastic modification. But with that in mind, let's get off to the track. It's now time to jump into the Lamborghini Diablo VT and see how it compares to the Ferrari 512 TR. First thing of note is the interior is completely different. You know, if you ever wondered what it was like to sit inside of a door wedge, here you go. And unfortunately, it's starting to get into modern supercar territory with its interior, but I'll forgive it. It's still nice and mostly to the point. But let's start driving. How it handles is what matters. That's the key thing, really. So there we go. Now the game's running a little bit slow at the start. We've got all the cars in front of us. That's perhaps not a surprise. So hopefully it looks alright for you guys. Off we go. Oh, a lot calmer launch. Stuck behind the traffic here. Oh! Calm down. Lamborghini driver there, a little bit aggressive. Oh, it's way more planted than the Ferrari. It feels as if the suspension is a lot tighter, but a lot less willing to actually turn in. And you're a lot less able to use the car to sort of take the corner with the mass of the car. Totally different handling profile to the Ferrari. Oh no, understeer into that car. So I'm getting the impression here, this wants me to drive it like a Klingon. I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to see if we can just hammer on the brakes. Just lean on that car on the outside. Oh dear, I got so used to the Ferrari just turning in on a dab of a brake. I go to this and you have to be, whoops, really firm with it as I go into the wrong gear. Really interesting how the cabin shape actually affects your sort of perception of how the car is on the track. I feel like we've got a football pitch of space in front of us inside the interior of this car. Really spacious cabin. And the way the column comes down, it sort of bends in a little bit before it goes down. It's just quite different to any other vehicle I've seen. Just chronic understeer through that. I think basically I'm going to have to approach this in the opposite way to the Ferrari, in that you have to push it into the corner initially. It's all about the corner entry, getting it in and then getting on the power, rather than being really delicate and having the car sort of move itself around the corner. We're going to have to do the work with this. Let's see if we can start to get to grips with that. Reformat the brain, forget how the other car handled. I've definitely got the brain in the right time period though. We are now driving with a realistic expectation of the brake distances. What? No need for that. We just got absolutely pummeled off the circuit there. Caught it. Oh, come on. It does appear to drive somewhat like a brick. There's a lot less to work with than the Ferrari. But that said, getting on the power mid-corner, because it doesn't, it moves around in a much more obvious and sort of less dynamic way, which makes it in a lot of ways more predictable, allowing you to really sort of trust when you get on the power mid-corner that it's not going to go flying out. So in many ways, an easier car to drive. We're bombing up through the grid. Again, I mean, the force feedback, absolutely fantastic. That said, when you've got a direct drive wheel... Oh, come on, not again. If I turn in on the AIs that go around there, they just ignore me. Yeah, when you've got a direct drive wheel, to be honest, if a core simulator's force feedback is good, normally you get pretty good information. So, R Factor 2, R3E, Assetto Corsa tend to feel great whatever car you put on them. Whoa, it's not moving out of the way. Oh, second gear. I mean, these cars don't have that much power relative to the modern vehicles. And they really are quite stable and planted even when you completely drop the throttle. It's not like you have to be super tentative on the gas and balance the gas pedal to get it just through a corner at a basic level. It's not like a Shelby Cobra, put it that way. Definitely a lot safer, a lot more refined than the Ferrari this. A lot more understeery. But I feel like I haven't quite worked this out yet. It did take about 10 laps with the Ferrari to get it. You always get to that point with vehicles where when you're first driving them in simulators, you kind of, it's a puzzle of working out how does this car, and even how does this sim in many cases, want to be driven. And then once you work that out, you can then work out how to maximise it whilst working with the car and working with the given setup as well to some extent. I quite like this though. I know I said it's a little bit dull, but I'm actually starting to get into it. These vehicles are like rich tea biscuits. Well, this Lambo's like a rich tea biscuit. You sort of, your first nibble of a rich tea biscuit, you're kind of like, it's a bit plain, a bit bland, but you know, by the time you've had your fifth rich tea biscuit, you know, there's obviously something good about them. Unless you're dunking it in your tea and half of it falls off into your teacup and then you're fishing out this disgusting, depressed, floppy bit of rich tea out of your cup. Fortunately, none of that with this Lamborghini. Okay, a bit of open air here. Oh no, that just felt terrible. Sorry if this video's not the fastest in terms of frame rate. I'm noticing here we are getting some drops. I think having this many cars on the track with the graphics pumped up is, whilst recording, is putting a bit of load on my computer, so sorry about that. Hopefully it's watchable. I am trying my hardest to keep my head as stable as possible. but you never know. For me, in VR, it tends to actually look really nice, even if I'm moving my head around, because it kind of moves, you know, your brain, as a VR user, filters out the head movements. Oh dear. A little bit of a shift disaster there. But with time, I think we'll get better at doing VR recordings to make them comfortable. And we'll get our settings such that it doesn't look like you're watching a console game or a stop motion film. See, on the brake there, it does actually start to turn in. You really... if you go in too hot, it's a guaranteed just understeer. But there's a slight amount of steering angle you can have with your trail braking and just getting the corner entry speed just right where it hooks up. And actually finding that with this car, I think that is where the satisfaction is going to be, nailing that. So with the Ferrari, it was a case of working with the suspension and the travel of the car and just the amount of movement that the car had, especially on the brakes, and the end corner, sort of the exit of the corner, getting on the power with a tiny bit of counter steer to maximise the speed out of it. With this, it's a case of getting the corner edge speed just right so you still got grip on the fronts, and then just catching it so you can get on the power such that it doesn't induce understeer, but it induces a very, very progressive, very tidy and very stable oversteer. And the back's not just going to fly out. So in its own way, though first appearances in terms of handling it does feel a bit brick-like, it actually does have subtlety to it. You just have to find it and you just have to work with that to get the most out of it. And I'm not going to get to grips with it in any satisfying way in the course of 7 laps, but I think I've found the golden nuggets hidden in the mountainside for this Lamborghini. And that, again, these kind of things that you discover with cars. Let's overtake on the grass. Whoa, let's not. Yeah, we got it. Happy birthday. That's the thing with these sort of simulated cars. And you know, when you're driving a good simulated car on a good simulator, you find these things with the car, how it wants to be driven, and then you're like, right, how can I maximise that? What can I get out of it? And that's what makes it really entertaining. Finding that out in the first place, and then actually nailing it consistently, corner on corner. That is it's just super enjoyable. And both these mod cars, look at the suspension travel on that Ferrari. Both these mod cars have so much subtlety and nuance to them. Absolutely amazing. So, well, there you go. I mean, what can I say? You just need to download them. You need to download these cars. That was the Lamborghini Diablo VT. I think of the two cars, the Ferrari 512 TR, probably my favourite. But then again, that it kind of has it's got similar handling characteristics to the Honda NSX, whereas I think its Diablo seems to be quite different to anything else I've driven. But then it does have that kind of brick-like nature to it as well. So it's hard to pick a favourite. Both have different qualities that are really entertaining, and I think will provide a lot of entertainment value in terms of trying to maximise the qualities they've got and getting them the best drive out of them. Amazing. How many times do you say amazing? These cars, virtual reality, is like Christmas every single day. Combined with a direct drive wheel, K2 cockpit and PT1 pedals. Absolutely incredible sim racing enjoyment there. But thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to click the subscribe button, like us, dislike us, let us know in the comments what you'd like to see more of. Until the next one, guys, goodbye.